On today's podcast, we're going to be covering stopping issues before they happen, so stay tuned. Welcome to Warehouse Safety Tips. You can find the show notes to each episode, links to information mentioned on the podcast, the social media platforms we're on, and anything else related to the podcast at warehousesafetytips.com. Now, if you're a seasoned podcast listener, this podcast is going to be different from most you listen to. It's based around exactly what the name implies, warehouse safety tips. And since the people in this industry are busy, we know that time is money and each episode will be as short and to the point as possible. And now, with all of that out of the way, let's get to the podcast. If you or someone you know are in the military, you've probably been present to several stories about drill instructors and the things they did during boot camp. This is going to be one of those stories. During boot camp, recruits have to keep their belongings and personal areas in an absolute specific way. If they waver from this, it's brought to the attention of everyone. Now, depending on the drill instructor and or several other factors, the person directly responsible will be punished, or they might punish the entire squad. While doing an inspection, a drill instructor found a footlocker with its lock unlocked. He reprimanded the recruit for leaving it unlocked and then proceeded to tell the entire squad why he was doing so. Stealing from another recruit was absolutely forbidden, but leaving a footlocker unlocked welcomed the opportunity. Before moving on, here's a word from one of our sponsors. If you've ever been to or worked in a warehouse, you know just how important safety is to both management and staff. It's almost impossible to go 10 steps without seeing safety tape, angles, signs, and or safety products. It's these items that show us how to be safe and avoid danger in the workplace. And if you're looking for the best products to make this happen, look no further than Mighty Line. Mighty Line floor signs and floor markings offer the best industrial products out there. We're proud to have Mighty Line as the official floor sign and floor marking company for the Warehouse Safety Tips podcast and site. Go to mightylinetape.com/safety tips to request a sample pack of their incredible safety signs and floor markings. Now back to the podcast. Chances are your facility isn't run like a platoon in boot camp. What is similar to the above mentioned story is preventing issues or accidents before they're able to happen. So how do we do it? It's by implementing the 5S methodology. Sometimes we single out a specific S, but in the case of prevention, the entire 5S methodology is applicable. We've gone over them in previous podcasts, but here's a real quick review. Sorting. This is the step where you sort and categorize items and separate what is needed, allowing only the bare essentials needed for operation and removing everything else. The elimination of excess items frees up space, saves time, improves process flow, and allows staff to operate efficiently. Next, we're going to have straightening or setting in order. This step is arranging items that are needed so that they're easy to locate, transport, use, identify locations for all the items so anyone can find them. Once a task is completed, return the item to specific locations. Issues in the workplace aren't always associated with accidents. Loss of time, compounded by time, can cost a facility dearly. So assuring staff has everything they need when they need it saves time and money. After that, we're going to come to shining. That's cleaning the workplace and equipment on a regular basis in order to increase safety, maintain standards, and identify defects. Standardizing. That's revisiting the first of the 3 S's on the 5S methodology on a regular and frequent basis and evaluating the conditions of your workplace. Now, over the years, there's an additional S that's been added to the mix. This makes the 5S methodology a 6S methodology, and that's safety. The addition of safety means that you should be constantly on the lookout around your facility to identify issues that could possibly affect your staff, production, service, or your overall facility, and then work to eliminate those issues. And that would bring us to the 5th S, which is now the 6th, and that's sustaining. And that's maintaining the standard and improve every day. This S is going to allow you to strive for continuous improvement. Implement the S's every chance you get, and you'll increase your chances of stopping issues before they happen. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Warehouse Safety Tips. If you visit warehousesafetytips.com, you'll find the show notes for this episode and access to all of our blog posts, previous podcasts, advertiser information, and much more. Thank you for listening to Warehouse Safety Tips, and have a safe day.